The question arrives after the relief, not before it. In Miri, Sarawak, a seller may work for months to attract the right buyer, agree on a price, and then suddenly feel less certain than ever. Finding a buyer is only the opening door. Beyond it begins a chain of checks, signatures, waiting, and decisions that can feel more complicated than the search itself. First, both sides confirm the terms. The buyer usually submits an offer, sometimes with an earnest deposit, to show serious intent. The seller reviews the price, payment method, and timeline. If the property or item has special conditions, those are written down now, because unclear promises later become disputes. Next comes verification. In a property sale, the buyer's lawyer or agent often checks ownership documents, titles, restrictions, outstanding charges, and whether consent is needed from any authority. If the sale involves land or a house in Sarawak, the process can depend on local rules and the type of title. This is the stage where many sellers realize that a buyer is not the same as a completed sale. After that, a formal agreement is drafted. It may be a sale and purchase agreement, a booking form that leads to one or another written contract depending on the transaction. The agreement explains the deposit, completion date, penalties for delay, and what happens if either party backs out. Once signed, the deal becomes much harder to reverse. Then the buyer arranges financing if needed. If the purchase depends on a bank loan, the seller must wait while the buyer submits documents. The bank values the property and approval moves through the system. Some deals stall here, not because the buyer was dishonest, but because the loan, valuation, or paperwork takes longer than expected. During this period, the seller should keep documents ready and avoid making other plans based on money that has not yet arrived. If repairs, vacating the property, or transfer of possession are part of the deal, they should be scheduled carefully. A smooth sale often depends on patience and precise timing. Once all conditions are satisfied, the closing stage begins. Payment is released, the documents are signed, and ownership is transferred according to the required legal process. Keys, vacant possession, or handover of the item then follow. Only at this point does the seller move from hope to certainty. So, after you find a buyer, the real work begins. The sale moves from interest to proof, from words to paperwork, and from agreement to completion. In Miri, as anywhere else, the smartest sellers are the ones who treat the buyer as the start of the process, not the end of it.